Matthew made it.
Whatever I had for lunch, you guys, something got stuck between these two teeth, and I can't get it out.
What did you have for lunch?
What did I have for lunch? Oh, I had collard greens.
Oh, yeah.
I think a little bit of that collard green sinew. There was some bacon in there, so maybe... Oh, yeah. When I make collard greens, I don't mess around, you guys. All right, what I do, I saute some bacon in the bottom of my Instant Pot. Then I add some onions, and I saute until the onions are... Oh, there's a word for it. Translucent. There's a more delightful word for what the onions have to look like. And then I add a half cup of vinegar, apple cider vinegar, half cup of bouillon stock, like soup stock.
Wow, is this the Robbie Matthew cooking show now?
An eighth of a cup of Frank's hot sauce. And then I put it in there for 10 minutes on Instant Pot.
It's really good.
So good.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get to it. We have a lot.
El Puppy is back. Our joke supply has been renewed.
Do not praise El Puppy until we get to the point of the agenda where we praise El Puppy. I don't want her to get too big of a head.
All right.
That's a little foreshadowing for you guys. Yes. That means telling you what's going to come. Wonder Undercover, Chapter 4. Oh.
Marvel at the shocking contingency.
Yeah, that's it. Guys, here's the thing. Here's what contingency is all about. Everything that is could just as easily be some other way, okay? Matthew could be sitting here with someone named Daphne. Robbie could be sitting here with someone named Julio.
I love Julio.
I'm just saying you could have 8 children. I could have 1 child.
What?
I could be a mechanic. You could be
You would never
plumber.
be a mechanic.
I'm just saying everything that is could just as easily be some other way. Think about all the things that had to go a very particular way to bring this set of circumstances into existence.
Yeah, that is pretty marvelous.
Marvel at the shocking contingency of everything. We are all so lucky to be at all, let alone to be here right now hanging out.
All at the same time, you guys.
Yeah, so I just...
Except for Shakti, who maybe didn't make it over. I hope that...
Well, we have several friends that either are on their way over or said, to heck with that show. They got way too philosophical there at the end. So I feel like we should move on to...
Yes. Water and dancing.
You know what? We have no water because I didn't replenish the water. And dancing, it's kind of overrated. And we're not very... All right, you dance. I'll get water. I'll be back in a second. Robbie, listen to the theme song.
Okay.
Dance for the children.
Which theme song should we listen to?
That's up to you. I'm going away.
I'm going to do Robbie's theme song. And a little Jackie dancing.
Robbie is cooler. Robbie is cuter. And Robbie's just better than Matthew.
Thank you. Oh, wait. I didn't want to start Matthew's theme song. He's not even here to enjoy it. He's getting us water. Oh, I think Waylon is trying to post the link to this feed so that Shakti can get over here.
Friends?
Yeah.
I would like to know what song Robbie played. I assume it was one of my theme songs in honor of my being gone and missing me and the heroic sacrifice I made in getting the water. So, which of my 2 theme songs did you play?
The one about Robbie and how she's better and cuter.
It doesn't make sense. I mean, everybody knows those things are true. There's no need to rub it in. It feels... Yeah.
Is water... Water was with dancing. Yeah. I did some Jackety Dansons.
You did? I'm going to do some Dackety Jansons.
Do you remember how to do them?
Dackety Jansen and Jackety Danson sound so much alike, I can hardly tell them apart.
Do you guys remember what that's called when you switch up the letters? The first letters?
I remember.
I know you remember.
Somebody
I'm
write
see
it.
If anybody else remembers.
Somebody write it in the sidebar. All right, you guys?
Somebody who is not Jennifer.
The water being consumed, we are going to report on ribs. You guys, I made ribs in our Instant Pot after I made the collard greens in the Instant Pot.
Kato's coming in because he has to do push-ups.
Oh, why does he have to do push-ups?
Because he was late.
How was he late? He's been sitting there the whole time. He just wants to do push-ups. I think he is making up this lateness so that he can exercise his prowess for you guys. So, anyway, the ribs. Robbie, can you come up with 5 adjectives to describe the ribs that we ate yesterday?
Well, delicious, juicy, tender, slightly spicy.
That was
sweet.
2. That was 2 more. Slightly and spicy are 2 different.
Is slightly is not slightly is an adverb.
It is?
No.
Slightly delicious. It's an adjective.
No,
right?
It's something that describes the adjective. Slightly is not an adjective in itself. Start doing your push-ups. How many do you have to do, Kato?
Wow. Jennifer, what is it called when you say something is slightly delicious? Is that an adjective modifying delicious, or is it some other part of speech? I don't know.
I thought most things ending with ly were adverbs.
Oh. Well, no, that's like sprightly. He ran in a sprightly way. No, that's an adjective too. I don't know. Jennifer.
Wait, yes, we need some help.
I'm a writer, but I don't
Excellent,
know what
all
things...
of you people who are saying spoonerisms.
Okay,
Thank
good work.
you
Good work.
For,
good work.
We might not have taught you that. Maybe you knew that already.
Well, but we did mention it
We're
here.
refreshing your memory.
Matthew reads chapter 4 of Wonder Undercover. You guys, I think we need to get to it, just because I actually haven't checked to see how long chapter 4 is. I don't know. Robbie, do you want to read it? Or are you feeling
good.
left out?
Shakti is here.
Are you feeling left out of the loop? Looped out of the left? What do you think?
I want to read.
Okay. It's not very long. We're going to do the whole chapter, you guys.
I hope you did all your push-ups, young man.
I did 25.
25?
Okay,
That was
here we go.
fast.
Here we go.
Okay.
All right.
Hold on. I gotta get you to the right.
All right.
Oh, hold on. I have to do this.
All right.
This one.
There we go.
There we go.
All right. That is not where we are,
That's
of
not
course.
where we are.
No, we are going to move forward in time and space.
There we go.
I just... Wow. Oh, phew. I pushed
my
but I
gosh.
pushed a different button. I'm sorry, but those buttons are in the stupidest place.
It's because I'm left-handed. It's not the fault of the...
Well,
yes.
I'm just saying. I refuse to take responsibility.
Okay.
All right.
He says adverb, and Amy agrees.
Okay.
Thank you. Does that mean that Robbie was right?
Well, it means that they think you were right. When Jennifer confirms it, I will believe it. Okay?
All right.
All right, here we go.
Chapter 4. How many legs does a centipede have?
100?
Yeah, I don't know if that's always true.
No, it isn't true. Keep reading.
Oh.
Yeah.
I was going to
No.
rain some wisdom down on
No.
you, and it turns out that you're probably the one who taught me that.
Well, I only learned it because I had to write this book. All right? Here we go.
All right. Thursday morning, breakfast. I am reading the Wonder Scout guidebook, and Milton is reading the newspaper again. Unacceptable! Apparently, I'm supposed to care what's happening inside his head. Outrageous! I consider responding, but am far too busy learning how to pronounce the number 7 in Hindi. Multani is dropping the case, says Milton, who is pacing back and forth like an ant whose hill just got smashed by a careless foot. They're saying it was a false alarm and that there is insufficient evidence to continue the investigation. Isn't that a good thing? Only if it's true, he says. Something doesn't quite add up. What about the loud crash in the basement? I see why you're suspicious, but if Multani has closed the case, there must be a perfectly rational explanation. No fingerprints, no fiber samples. I have to go to Pilates. I think I wrote that. That's why I think it's so funny.
You did.
But Milton is not convinced. Something fishy is going on. I'm entirely too busy with our actual case to devote any extra brain bits to second-guessing Multani. But this does seem like a perfect opportunity for Milton to work on his solo detective skills. Maybe you're right, I say. Why don't you investigate? The local House of History is only a few blocks from school. You could stop by on the way home. Milton's eyes light up. Will you come with me? I like to reserve Thursday afternoons for reading Annabelle, but I could make an exception for the sake of helping my little brother get some practice on a case that has already been solved. That would be rather nice of me, wouldn't it? Milton smiles like a puppy that has finally built up the courage to pounce on an unsuspecting dog treat. When we get to school, I see our fearless leader, Principal Jones, who somehow seems taller and nobler and wiser than she did yesterday. Look, she even looks cooler. Look at her cool trench coat. Principal Jones is so cool. I wonder if she has ever stared down a pack of wolves. I have no doubt she could and would if someone needed rescuing. I give her a dignified nod, and she gives me a dignified nod, and we both agree without saying a word that Tiddlywump Elementary would be nothing without us. Good morning, Moxie. Good morning, Principal Jones. You have the look of someone who is working on a new case. Principal Jones is very observant. It's one of the things I like best about her. I lean in close to keep our conversation confidential. Indeed I am. A case of such consequence that it might well determine the future of the great town of Tiddlywump, and beyond. Is that so? Asked Principal Jones, raising her beautiful right eyebrow in a way that makes me extremely jealous. Oh, yes, it's so, I say. And then to make sure she truly understands, it's so. In that case, I thank you on behalf of Tiddlywump. And beyond. Good luck, Moxie. Most of the time, I would tell you that solving cases is a matter of skill, not luck. But if the luck in question is coming from Principal Jones, you can bet I'm going to take it. I walk into my classroom just as the bell rings. Mr. Shine gets the day started by asking us questions about centipedes. By keeping my Wonder Scout guidebook hidden inside my binder and reading it carefully while pretending to take notes, I am able to learn that centipedes don't actually have 100 legs with the left side of my brain, while learning the basics of orienteering with the right side. It might be the first time that my great big hungry mind has been adequately fed while sitting in a 4th grade classroom. "And how many legs does a centipede actually have, Moxie?" asks Mr. Shine. "Way more than it should," I say, and the class laughs, and so does Mr. Shine, because he's the sort of person who can appreciate a good answer as much as the right one. The bell rings again, and it's time for recess. "Could you stay behind for a minute, Moxie?" I have a feeling I'm about to get scolded, which I probably deserve, but I do appreciate that Mr. Shine is the kind of teacher who yells at you in private. "It seemed like you might not have been paying full attention this morning." I think about making up some elaborate excuse for why I could not concentrate. Full moon, trick knee, butter-induced amnesia. But then I conclude that Mr. Shine will probably find the truth even more persuasive. The truth is, I have been paying attention to the lesson, but I've also been busy learning other things at the same time. "Oh, what sorts of things?" "I have just joined the Wonder Scouts and have some catching up to do," I say, showing Mr. Shine my guidebook. "At the moment, I'm learning to count to 10 in the world's 7 most commonly spoken languages." "I thought you weren't a fan of the Wonder Scouts." I didn't realize that my opinion of the Wonder Scouts was so widely known. "I'm not, of course. It's a shoddy organization full of badge-obsessed ninnies in ridiculous costumes." "Then why are you... Can I tell you something privately?" "Of course." I lower my chin and look up at Mr. Shine with the utmost seriousness, just as Annabelle does when reporting top-secret details to Living Legend and Girl Detective Mission Chief M. "I'm only in Wonder Scouts as part of an undercover investigation." Mr. Shine's eyes grow appropriately wide. "I see. Which means I can't give you the details, I'm afraid." "Of course. Also, even though the Wonder Scouts themselves are an unsavory lot, their leader is not so bad. Her name is Veronica, and she is rather inspiring." "Inspiring?" I do not use the term lightly. "I imagine you wouldn't. Now, believe it or not," says Mr. Shine, changing gears, "when I was your age, my friend Ronnie and I used to get a kick out of learning the basics of various languages, so I'm somewhat familiar with a few of the ones on your list." Knowing Mr. Shine, I am not surprised in the least. In addition to being one of the kindest people I know, he's also an extremely smart guy, and I'm guessing his friend Ronnie was too. "So, how about we spend recess practicing your Arabic and Hindi, and you agree to learn 4th grade stuff between recess and lunch?" "That sounds like a marvelous plan." Mr. Shine smiles. It's what he does best. Dun, dun, dun,
What a reasonable length for a chapter, Matthew Swanson. Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, our poor readers. The previous chapter was 30 pages long, and this one was 7 or 8.
Sneeze.
Wow, I guess I should have checked beforehand. I could have added more content to this video, Robbie, because we have so much time. Let's see. Let's first have a lament for Taylor Ham.
Lament for Taylor. Oh my gosh, this Taylor Ham has lasted longer than...
I think I promised yesterday that I wasn't going to bring it up again.
Here
but
we
what
are
if
again.
my heart continues to beat for the Taylor Ham? Am I not to express my emotion? Am I not an artist? Is my job as an artist not to telegraph my interior state to those in the world who could benefit from the timbre of its beating? What do you think, Robbie? Should I let the Taylor Ham go?
I think you should.
All
the
right.
Taylor Ham is indeed gone.
All right.
So whether you let it go or not is irrelevant.
All right, Robbie, then I assume you are going to be willing to let go of your lament for lemon meringue pie.
I'm not going to, because that lemon meringue remains in our fridge with a sad, soggy crust.
How do you know that it does? How do you know that
Because-
someone named Matthew didn't eat it for his luncheon today? How do you know that I didn't decide that those
You wouldn't
calories...
do such a thing.
What? You think not? What? Why not? I made that pie.
You know
why
that
wouldn't...
I love that pie, and that's why you wouldn't do that, because you're a nice person.
Robbie's using my defining character against me. She knows that I'm nice. She knows that I wouldn't do something so dastardly.
No.
Not because I'm nice, but because of fear of what might happen to me if
Yeah.
Robbie found out that I ate the last slice of lemon meringue pie. So she's correct. We don't have to lament it yet. I will leave this item on the agenda for tomorrow. Because probably that pie's going to be gone within 5 minutes of this show's ending today. So we'll have had almost a full 24 hours to reflect and lament on its tragic absence from our refrigerator, lives, hearts, and stomach. All right.
Okay.
What does that say?
Meringue versus merengue.
All right. Here is a confession, you guys. In Real McCoys,
Show the spellings again, just so that we're clear.
meringue versus merengue. In Real McCoys, Volume 3, Wonder Undercover, Tracy Dublinger and Tammy Dublinger are trying to make the perfect meringue. And so I had to write that word a lot because it comes up a lot in this book. In every single time.
Meringue, just so you know, if you haven't ever had meringue, then again, this is like Pop-Tarts.
Yeah.
It's worse than Pop-Tarts.
No.
You should have meringue.
They've had meringue.
Okay,
I
so
know they
it's
have.
this sort of fluffy, white, what is it? It's not frosting.
No,
it's
it
just
is
a layer.
whipped
Basically,
egg whites.
it's whipped egg whites, which makes it sound disgusting. But
With
it's got a
sugar.
ton of sugar in
Sugar,
it,
yeah.
and so it sort of sits on top of your lemon meringue pie.
It's almost like a marshmallow, right?
It's kind of, yes,
yeah.
it is very much like a
So
marshmallow.
it's-
But you can also just have meringue, like
Yeah.
baked meringues,
Yeah.
as a sweet little cookie treat. They're chewy, they're sweet, the meringues. But meringue on a pie is just sort of wet and foamy.
Yeah, it's kind of like having whipped cream on top of your
Yeah.
pie, slightly more substantial
So
whipped
good,
cream.
though.
In any case,
Yes.
it is not spelled MERENGUE.
Yeah.
But I didn't realize that. So throughout the entire manuscript, I wrote it wrong. And so when I got it back from
And
my
what is
editor,
MERENGUE?
merengue. It is a
Yes,
dance.
it is a dance.
that
So
I
they were not
believe-
trying to make a perfect dance.
And it's a
like
dance. It's like a double or triple time dance. It's fast. It's so if you want to Google merengue instead of crystal tears,
Yes.
you can figure out what that is. The important thing is, you guys, even people who write books totally get their words wrong, spell things wrong.
I'm curious
What?
if when Erin first came across the merengue, she knew that you were talking about meringue, or if she was like, what is he talking
I think
about?
there were certain context clues, like making the meringue in the blender with cream of tartar.
Is that when it first showed up?
To whip up a perfect meringue? I think so, but who knows?
Okay.
But the point is, you guys, this isn't the only book that I had this problem with.
Oh?
I had this book with Real McCoys, Volume 3, Wonder Undercover, but then I wrote Cookie Chronicles Volume 1, Ben Yokoyama and the Cookie of Doom.
Is there meringue in that too?
Yes. Ben and his mom have to whip up egg whites in that. And
How?
and I spelled it wrong in that book too. And so a different copy editor said, Matthew, you're spelling this word wrong. And I had to feel the shame all over again. I
Wow,
refused to
sorry.
learn. Enough time had passed that the wounds had healed and I was ready to err,
Maybe
again.
while you are practicing your handwriting for Emily, you
Yeah.
could also practice spelling meringue properly.
I have really no interest in that. There is no way that I'm going to put meringue in the
It
third
seems
book.
to be
So I think I'm done.
thematically
Well, let's move on to the
yeah.
next.
Recurring themes in Matthew's writing. Meringue.
All right. So for whatever reason, I'm not like the world's biggest fan
I was
of
gonna
meringue.
say, this is the first time that we've ever made meringue.
Yeah. So, and in any case, meringue appears in 2 of the 6 not published novels that I have created so far. I don't know why.
Is meringue in the next series?
Heck no, there's no meringue in the next series, and there's
There's
not going to
strawberry
be.
pie in the next
There's
series.
strawberry pie in the next series. So, but no meringue, and there's not going to be meringue. I've
All
run
right.
my course with meringue, but you know what? Purple pencils.
Oh.
All right. Tracy Dublinger is a big fan of purple pencils. It's her defining characteristic in many ways. And in book 2 of the Cookie Chronicles series, Ben Yokoyama cites purple pencils as something that one might track down in a scavenger hunt. So they come up again. So that's a little Easter egg that I put
Where was
in
I?
for devoted Matthew
I'm not a
Swanson
devoted
followers.
Matthew Swanson follower.
Robbie just breezed right past
didn't
that.
know anything about the purple
Yes,
pencil.
in book 2, Ben's teacher proposes a scavenger hunt in which instead of looking for objects, you're looking for different types of words. You're looking for different, like, pieces of language. And Ben's like, that's not a scavenger hunt. Scavenger hunt's when you look for license plates or purple pencils. So in any case, that popped up again.
Wow, license plates was also in book.
License plates are everywhere. Atomic nut bombs. You
Oh,
guys,
yeah.
Milton, in one of the McCoys books, I think it's book 2, is eating a cereal called Atomic Nut Bombs. Atomic Nut Bombs debuted in our oeuvre, which is our collection of work, in a book called The Luckiest, which we self-published through Bobbledy Books. I loved Atomic Nut Bombs so much. In fact, Robbie loved them so much that I brought them back.
Thank you.
I figured I would share them with a wider audience. High fives. All sorts of people in my books do high fives because I like high fives. And so high fives come up again as a way of expressing enthusiasm, connection, intent. All right. So thus concludes the review of things that I know to be recurring themes in my work. I would like to know what themes I'm not aware of, the things that come back again and again. Apparently, there is some sort of computer program in the internet that you can put in like a paragraph of somebody's language, and it is able to tell you who the author is.
What?
Just based on the way that they structure and shape words.
That's impossible.
It's a way that they have proven the authenticity of, or the consistency of authorship of some of Shakespeare's work, or of Shakespeare's work. Because some people said it's impossible that one person could have done all of that work. It's too much greatness. It would have taken too much time. It's impossible. But they've analyzed it, and there's enough sameness in the way that he writes and structures language and thinks and uses metaphors across his... It's the same... Yeah, go ahead.
That's fascinating.
Yeah, there are individual sort of signatures of expression that individual authors use in their writing that are beyond the ability of the individual mind to discern.
Yes,
but which
I
computers,
wonder what yours would be.
Yeah.
Can you put a? Do you know where to find this, or is this not like an open resource sort of thing? It's
you know what? I wish I knew more. This is an invention that I wish that somebody. I bet Jennifer knows about.
I
this.
wonder if this is an invention of your mind.
No,
that
track
you're
it down.
making up.
Jennifer, tell us about this. Prove to me whether I'm right or not. I'm not citing a source here other than my memory. So I would love it. I bet if Jennifer doesn't know, she will find out. Okay? Jennifer, can you tell us about that, and we will share it with people on another day? What does this say?
Reminder of materials needed for envelope making workshop.
Robbie is prepared to teach you how to make really excellent envelopes out of pages of magazine articles, and...
They're not excellent envelopes. They're just cool.
No, that's what makes them excellent. I don't mean excellent in terms of quality or sturdiness. I mean excellent in terms of awesomeness, all right? Which is really the only characteristic by which envelopes should be judged.
Archipelago and that one dinosaur, the Hypsilophodon, are some more recurring themes.
Where else do those things appear in my work?
I think the Hypsilophodon, we noticed that it was in Archipelago, and then
is it in a McCoys book?
I think we recently read it.
I'm probably more aware of the things that I repeat than the things that Robbie repeats. The things that I just mentioned to you were all bits of language. Robbie might be more aware of the bits of visuals because she creates them, right? If you create,
also wrote about the Hypsilophodon.
Well, I guess what I'm saying is it's more likely, I think, that in McCoys you used a dinosaur that looked like the Hypsilophodon, but I know I didn't use the word Oh.
You did.
Yes, because somebody says Hypsilophodon.
Yeah.
Yes. All right, there you go. I
was going to say.
Hypsilophodon does appear in 2 books. You win a prize, Simon. I have to figure out what the prize is.
I think it was the Shanks said that.
Oh, okay.
Simon's talking about SpaceX.
Good job. I bet that's my friend William. William, if that's you, you win a prize. If that's Jane, you win a prize. If that's Alice, you win a prize. I don't know what the prize is. I would say that Abby's clock is several minutes ahead of ours. We have 6 minutes left by ours, and Abby is trying to rush us away in 2 minutes.
That's okay.
All right, here we go. What does that say?
Noisy appreciation of Al Puppy.
Al Puppy, we missed you yesterday. We got to the end of the show.
We didn't. I was being noisy.
I know. I'm going to let you finish first.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm done.
I'm not going to talk over your hooting.
Oh, I'm sorry.
All right. No, please hoot, and then
Boop, 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 boop. I'm done.
Is it? Okay. I would have hooted a little bit longer if I was the designated...
Boop, 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 boop. I had a pause there.
We were sad, Al Puppy. We were like, where are the jokes?
Where are the jokes?
Where's the Al Puppy?
There were some people who filled in at the last minute, but we had to fiddle around and fill some time.
Were you having some sort of picnic? Were you scaling a rock face?
You were allowed to be doing whatever you want. You do not have to tell us what you were doing.
I'm not in any way accusing her of being gone for bad reasons. I just wondered if she wanted to share her adventures with us. In any case, she started today's broadcast with some jokes, as she is wont to do when she is present. May I hear them?
Well, I don't know. Is that on the agenda or not?
Jokes. All right?
All right.
That's it. That's what we've got. So I'm going to answer super slowly. All right? What do we have here?
What event do spiders love to attend?
A webinar.
Oh, that's good.
That's not it?
That's not it.
Come on. That has to be it.
I think that's as valid as the answer.
A live reading of Charlotte's Web?
No.
Oh. Spin class.
Oh, that's another good one.
Oh, come on. How can those not be right? Arachnophobic
no.
support groups? What? I don't know.
Webbings.
I like mine better. I gotta say.
Webinar was good.
Webinar. But that's a little bit too
webbing,
of the moment.
Yeah,
all right.
I think so.
Webbings.
Webbings.
Instead of weddings?
Instead of
like?
weddings.
Okay, all right, got it.
But I also think spin class is good
Thank
too.
Thank you. All right.
Why do ducks have tail feathers?
Why do ducks have tail feathers? Because they have tails. And you wouldn't want naked duck butts traipsing. What? What? You don't want naked ducks? You don't want Peking ducks?
No.
You don't because I don't know. What?
To cover their butt quacks.
Oh. All right, here you guys. I don't like puns, generally speaking. I don't like puns. I think they are... I don't want to get into it here.
I was going to say, you're going to say some mean things about puns.
All right, I don't like puns. But is that a pun?
That is a pun.
I like that.
That's a good one.
Sometimes puns push past the awfulness into a moment of sublimity. And that's a sublime pun. Butt quacks.
Cover their butt
That's
quacks.
great. I'm going to save that for a
Yes.
moment when I'm standing in a circle with people making puns. And I'm going to pull that one out. Because I'll be able to live with myself for making that pun. Okay, go ahead.
Do you often encounter people standing in circles?
I try to
making
avoid
puns?
it whenever possible. I try to. It's almost as bad as people standing in circles like throwing meatballs at each other. I wouldn't want to do that
I would
either.
like that.
No, not when I'm wearing my white silk shirt. Okay? All right. I'm just saying.
There are so many things that are happening in your brain that don't happen in real life.
I do not own a white silk shirt.
No.
I don't own any white shirts.
No.
In fact.
There's a reason. It's because
Robbie,
even if
let's talk about it.
if you weren't having meatballs thrown at you, if you were eating meatballs yourself, they would end up all over your white silk shirt.
All right, let's have
What
the
kind
next
of
one.
lunch do moms never prepare in the morning?
Moms never... Which they don't prepare lunch in the morning because they prepare breakfast in the morning. Also, dads prepare lunch in the morning. That's how it works in our house, anyhow.
What kind of lunch do moms never prepare in the morning? Any of them, if you're this mom.
If you're this mom. What kind of lunch do they never prepare in the morning? I don't know. I feel like this is something I'm never going to get.
Their own. Aww.
Oh, because they prepare it for their kids in the
yeah,
morning. Oh,
yeah.
I get it. That's kind of not less of a joke and more of like
More of like a heartrending
poor moms.
state of motherhood.
All right.
All right.
Have we done it?
I think we have.
All right. I see no reason to prolong the show
What?
past its natural
No,
arc.
I like to prolong it.
Do you guys have any
we
questions?
have 2 minutes.
Do we have anything that you'd like to say to us? Anything
Let's
that
see
you would
if
like
there's
to...
anything that happened. What is the next series, says El Puppy. And I think we're not talking about Cookie Chronicles. We're talking about the thing that you're working on.
I am working on a fantasy series, El Puppy. So far, the McCoys has been about a real brother and sister, although a very active imagination for Moxie, to be sure. So I got to get into the sort of beyond the realm of reality. Some of the things that Annabelle does are at least quasi-imaginative.
Fantastic.
They're a little fantastical. Cookie Chronicles is very much about reality. It's about a boy who has a very literal mind and the adventures he goes on with his friend Janet. I can't wait for you guys to meet Janet. Janet, Ben's best friend, is such a wonderful character that's modeled after Robbie. She's just great. I love her so much. But this next one is a fantasy series about magic and witches in a completely made-up world and talking monkeys and all sorts of things. So for me, it's a way to really break loose and let my imagination out. And the way it's written makes me really happy. If you're looking for the model of Collins, he's on my desk on the other room. Because while I'm working on him, Collins is the monkey in this series. And Robbie sculpted him for me out of clay.
I did.
Maybe you sculpted him for you out of clay. I don't know.
I did.
Yeah, but I borrowed him.
You
for the
took
time.
him.
I'm happy to bring him back because I needed him while I was working.
Well, I
on
realize now that you're talking about it that
Yeah.
the rabbit hair problem might need to be addressed in Collins because you're calling him a monkey and I think I made an ape.
We can work that out. Yeah, we can figure that out.
Okay.
In any case. I think within the realm of the Grimangela world, you can just make him an ambiguously monkey/ape type creature, and we're not purporting to be scientifically accurate in any way. I like to work in realms where I can never be accused of getting things wrong because anything can be right. That's what I prefer.
What's weird is that you've written 2 books
I know.
that are all about facts and all about reality.
I'm so excited to get away from that.
Yeah. Thomas asks, have you read The Pun Also Rises?
Oh! It's so literary that it hurts me a little bit less, but it hurteth me still. It hurteth me still.
Yes.
All right, you guys, we're done. The time has passed. The time
it's
has come.
2:01 already.
The time is gone.
We
eased
whiled away
through
those
that
2
last
minutes
couple
like
of
no
minutes.
problem.
Yeah.
Oh, Kato is harassing somebody who gave a thumbs down. You're allowed to give a thumbs down.
Absolutely.
Yes.
No problem.
You can put it back if you want to.
Yeah, absolutely.
No matter what Kato
All right.
says.
All right, friends, thank you.
We'll see you tomorrow.
We'll see you
tomorrow, bring your magazines.
Yeah.
Bring the letter that you maybe will write to Matthew or a friend.
Yeah.
Because that's what we're putting in the envelope.
No pressure to write
No
a letter
pressure to
me.
write a letter, though.
Please write
No.
a letter to someone.
To someone.
Yeah.
And I will try to come up with an illustration for Matthew's lovely,
Or not.
sentimental story.
Or not, okay? That's not a problem.
All right.
All right. Friends, farewell. We'll see you tomorrow.
Adios.
Work on your research. Broad brush definition of inventions, guys.
Yes.
Bye.
Okay.
See ya.
I didn't
Yeah.
push the button.
Oh.